Hi, and welcome to the Art of Dissection with Man and Gray. So today I want to talk to you guys about a novel that I've recently experienced through my favourite medium, which is Audiobook, called Melaleuca. Now, Melaleuca is a debut novel by Angie Faye Martin, who is an Aboriginal Australian, and she has produced an outstanding book. And I have to say, this book is probably my favourite book that I have read or listened to so far this year, for several reasons. So one, the actual writing style I find quite captivating and authentic. So that's always a big win for me, because if I can't believe in a character, I really struggle with accepting what's on the page. You know, my mind just, I can't fall into the story if my mind is just constantly pinging things as, yeah, that's not really believable. But this writer has brings great authenticity to her work. I think she's quite marvelous, and I've given this review given her a review of 5 stars, both for the performance on the audiobook and for the actual writing. So congratulations, this is an outstanding book. And obviously I'm Australian, and I grew up in a very small town with about, I think it was 1,700 people, around that 2,000 people, and there were quite a few violent crimes back in the good old 90s that weren't investigated well by the police. So this book has several layers of authenticity that really touch on my personal life experiences. Obviously, I am an older person. I'm not in my 20s anymore, unfortunately. It's all the wrinkles and whatnot. So I was in high school and my early 20s in the 2000 period, and there were a lot of missing women back then. There was, people would go missing left, right and centre. There was the whole stranger danger, and police really passed everyone off as runaways and didn't really investigate very well. And in my own writing, these are some of the themes I'm trying to explore as an amateur novelist. It's not going very well, but I'm trying. Okay. So I really, really deeply appreciate this work. It brings that, rural, small town vibe, and explores those themes of generational violence with the added complexity of the Aboriginal culture. And I think that's really underserved in Australian literature. So I love this book, and I think everyone should read this book. Please read or listen to this book, because it is fantastic. And this author really deserves credit for what she's done, because in 1965, this is a split timeline novel. So the main storyline begins with Renee, who is an Aboriginal detective, and she moves to a small town. And there's some girls have gone missing in the past. The novel opens in the prologue with a girl being brutally murdered. And that body is found early on in the novel, and Renee ends up becoming the lead detective on the case, and she faces a lot of challenges that are embedded from that 1960s time period. And in context, that was before the referendum that gave the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people basic rights, So there's a lot of cultural complexity. There's a lot of historical police, I want to say incompetence, but I don't know if it was actually incompetence. I think they just didn't care back then, and this isn't just my opinion. You can actually go and look like there's the national sort of inquest going on into the number of missing persons from the 1990s to the 2000 era. And, you know, there's a lot of work on YouTube going along about that, you know, investigations and parliamentary inquiries and things like that. So this is a relevant piece of literature that I think explores those themes, or at least touches on them. Again, with that added complexity and authenticity from bringing the First Nations perspectives into things, which I find absolutely amazing, and I cannot recommend this book enough. It's well written. It has I'm annoying. It's very rare that I find a book that really shocks me at the end. And I have to say this book didn't shock me at the end. You know, I wasn't expecting the way it resolved, but I kind of knew that fairly early on. But that's just me. I would, like, my partner also listened to this and he had no idea and he was really surprised. And he's like, oh, I never knew that. Like, I wasn't expecting that. So awesome kudos to the author, Angie Faye Martin. You are amazing. And the narrator, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Hold on. Phoebe Grenier. So amazing narrator. Yeah, so just everyone do yourself a favour, just go and grab a copy of this book. Go and get the Audible version. I love a good audio book, you know. I can listen to it while I'm cleaning my house or working, you know, swimming. I have those little swimming earbuds. I pop them in, I go for a swim. I should swim more because it's, you know, I could be smaller than I am now. But anyway, so this is an amazing book. Please, everyone go and buy it because I think this author really needs recognition and I cannot wait to see what she comes up with next because I'm really excited. And, you know, I'm a little bit harsh with my reviews. So when I give 5 stars, I mean it. Yeah. So congratulations to the author. I think this is amazing and I think everyone should really experience this. Bye.